So let's get started. I'm gonna start with a sphere, then convert to polymesh, and then I'm gonna use the dynamesh. The big advantage using dynamesh is that you can work with the overall shape of your model, not worrying with the base mesh. So you can start with any primitive you like, and then convert to dynamesh. Then will turn into an even distributed mesh here. And now I'm gonna shape the head, just a quick sketch. And I prefer not using a too dense mesh in the beginning. I will raise the resolution a little bit, but I don't like to raise too much, since it will get a little harder to work. And well, with a lower mesh, it is more easy to get to manipulate the shapes. And let's shape a little more the head, and I also pull out the neck here. And well, in the don't get in the beginning, it is normal getting a little frustrated, since it takes a little while to get the shape you want. You have to persist a lot. And well, I'm gonna make a quick sketch here of the skull and the basic forms of the face. And well, in the it it will get a little while to start to looking cooler. Right now it's just a rough sketch here, just to have a better idea, actually a small idea of what I really want. And I'm not worried about getting the final shape here. Well, we you start to work with this, and when you realize, you get a better result. Let's move a little more. And well, the face doesn't look very good right now, but well, it will look better, I promise. I'm gonna pull the torso now, and a little more of the bust, and a little more of the shoulder. And well, the Dynamesh is a very versatile tool. It's like using clay, and gives a lot of freedom to get the shape you want, and a very good start. It is a very good way to start, since you can manipulate the shape very quickly. And let's make the neck here, a little more of the tails. I will not worry with the tails for now. I just looking the shapes and the overall form of the model and proportions. But I also need to define a little more of the shoulder and the head. I won't define anything on the face. It's just to have a rough idea of the face and proportion. Let's pull the torso using transpose, then dynamesh again to get the mesh even a little more. Yeah, now let's move it. And also the mesh is getting a little too dense. I will lower it a little more, a little less resolution. It will be easier to manipulate here. Too dense mesh is a little more difficult to smooth. And now we're starting to shape the torso, so the back, the muscles of the back, the waist, and little by little you start to get a better idea of the overall form of your character. But actually it is all a sketch, and I only will detail it after defining all elements, after having the sketch of all elements of my character. So it is an important step here, defining the overall form and sketch all of your character. Yeah, let's define a little more here. I use, well, the basic tools I use is move to define the bigger shapes, clay tool to define the smaller shapes, and standard to make the details. But I won't make any detail right now. It is just the overall form here. Let's shape a little more the bust, and well, it is shaping a little better. Not good yet, but better. Yeah, this stage you have to be very patient. It is a very important step, but also somehow it is a little frustrating, since, well, you see the way it is now, it's not looking attractive at all. But, well, keep trying, keep defining the main shapes, the muscles, the bigger muscles, and you get a better result. You have a better idea of what you really need to do. Let's define a little more of the chest here, and I keep changing the resolution, since sometimes it is too low to define some details, but I don't want to make too high to get too heavy or more difficult to smooth the model and to manipulate it. Let's define a little better the skull here. I keep back and forth in each part, just to get all the work more fluid, and don't over tweak some place more than another. And let's pull the arm here, make the arm have the mask. I'm gonna mask here, invert the mask, then pull out with transpose, and Dynamesh is very useful, really. You don't get enough resolution in the middle of the arm right now, but when you Dynamesh it, it's everything got smoother and a more even mesh, so it allows you to work better all these parts here. And now I can define the shoulder a little more. Yeah, the model will start to get a better proportion soon. Let's define a little more the armpit, shaping a little better the arm, and well, I really don't need to worry too much of being anatomically accurate, but it is good to have some idea now of the main shapes, how it will connect the muscles of the back and the deltoid. Let's pull up the armpit a little more, and little by little you will really get a better idea of the overall proportion. But like I said before, not worried with details at all in this stage, this catch up stage. And define a little more, and little by little we're shaping our character a little better. This is gonna be a base that I will use in the most part of the process, so it is good to be careful with the proportions and define it right to make it looks right. Yeah, let's bend a little the arm, get a little idea of the proportion here, the forearm, Yeah, let's smooth it and keep things balanced. Is a it is a good way to do it. And soon I'm gonna make a hand here. I'm not gonna make a hand from scratch. ZBrush has a nice feature called insert tool. It is ready a ready hand already that can be very useful here and save some time. Let's define the triceps a little. Not detained, but just shaping. I'm just marking the landmarks, having an idea of how the muscles looks gonna look together. Shaping a little more the chest. Like I said before, I make a lot of back and forth between the parts here. I detail the neck, then go back to the arm, then go back to the neck, and then the face. Everything to keep things balanced. I just defining it. Yeah, it's not looking right yet, but I have I I have a better idea now of the proportion, overall proportion of the upper body, and make the shoulder looks a little more, less flat than it was. Define the back a little, and going back to the triceps, sketching the main muscles here will give a better idea of the proportion. But well, the model in this stage will take a little while to look right, and but I'll figure out a way to make this look better. I promise. Shaping a little more the arm. Yeah, I think this way gonna work. He is too thin right now. I will make him stronger. He will look stronger. Inflate the muscles, defining more the chest muscles here. This will all fit together soon. Shaping it a little more. And well, you have to be very patient this stage. You look at the stage and whoa, it looks very weird, but well, when we define the main part of the model, the main mass, main shapes, uh, and studying anatomy, I have a lot of reference here with me, and it helps a lot. And soon I will get a better shape here. Just have to define the main forms, then the shape will working with the shape will look better. Now let's shape a little more of the shoulder is a very hard part to set it right. Now let's get this muscle here, define a little more here. Sometimes I exaggerate some landmarks to looks more visible and helps you to set the right proportion. I exaggerate it, then smooth it and balance it. Then you will also have a better idea of the silhouette. Yeah, this muscle have to be bigger, and it is starting to shaping a little better. Just have to be patient and insist a lot. You have to insist. You have sometimes to rework, and maybe sometimes you have to start again. Uh, Shape a little more the neck. The neck is too thick right now. It's looking very weird, but I will fix it soon. Define a little more the deltoids. A little more here. Oh, the arm is starting to look at a real arm. Just the start. It is just starting to look it, but a lot of work to do yet to look really right. The trapezium, and little by little you shape your character better. It will look better. And also start with a sphere. I would take a little more if I would start with a base mesh in 3D Max or any other software. But like I said before, this sphere gives a lot of freedom here. Now we're gonna insert the hand. This tool is very handy since I don't need to start with make a hand from scratch. I use the insert tool. I will position it in the right position in the right way, and then I will weld it with Dynamesh. But here, since there is separated mesh and it is really close together, like the fingers, you have to be careful when using setting the resolution of the Dynamesh. Since if you use a too low resolution, the fingers in the way it is will weld together, so I will have to set a bigger resolution to avoid this problem. Yeah, like I said before, the fingers will weld together, so I have to raise the resolution a little bit to get the hand together with the forearm. Let's move it here. But I don't like to use this resolution for the overall model. And I also realized that the forearm is too long, so I have to shorten it a little bit. Yeah, that's why I don't like to use a bigger, more dense mesh. It's a little harder to smooth it and manipulate the overall shapes. Like this one here. It's a little more difficult to fix this in a higher resolution mesh. But I will make a quick smooth here, and using clay will help to make a more smooth shape. Then when I define it here a little more, I can get a lower resolution. Yeah, I can lower the resolution right now because of the fingers. It is too close together. I have to separate it before I get a low resolution. Well, let's move the forearm first. Yeah, that's gonna work. When I get a lower resolution mesh, it will be faster to fix this forearm problem. Let's mask the hand here. Fix the position. Yeah, I will separate the fingers now. Mask one by one. And since there is no edge loop here, the selection using transpose don't work really well. So I have to mask this with the mask brush, not using the transpose. And now I'm gonna separate the fingers a little more, and the Dynamesh won't weld it together like before. Let's inflate it a little bit. It helps. The fingers is too thin. And let's separate it anymore. Yeah, I have to mask first. Well, in this case here, I can well, the mask using transpose is working. Not perfect, but it is working. I can mask using transpose and refine it using the mask brush. Yeah, let's separate it a little more. Let's shape it a little, and I think now I can lower the resolution of the mesh a little. But first I I'm gonna flatten a little this part here to hide a little this defect. Yeah, it looks more smooth now, but I still need to lower the resolution of the mesh.